They're good.
They're coming to
Yeah, they're from the middle. They're pretty bad. We built your house on Sundays. Jimmy's, she had tall trees in the backyard, and they'd just be loaded with birds.
Oh, that's
Apparently, is what I'd like to get rid of.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mayor Luma,
Here.
Bob,
Here.
Ball, Hudson,
Here.
Nichols,
Here,
Miller,
Here.
Walke.
Here.
The minutes of previous meeting and special meeting minutes were read and approved.
did we have a special meeting?
No,
Okay.
that is my fault from last month.
Okay, so approved. Fiscal officer report.
We have $1,667,819.29 in all funds, and in the general fund, we have $359,790.11. Also, the audit has been released. Each of you should have received an email with the audit report.
I did review that, Sarah, and I want to congratulate you and the rest of the people in the office. Last year's audit, I believe our findings were 3 or 4 pages long, and this year, I think we're 1. So,
We're going to keep working on that.
yeah, thank you. Job well done.
Thank you.
Okay. Bills were read and approved on motion by,
So moved.
second by,
Second.
Fox,
Yes.
Hudson,
Yes.
Nichols,
Yes,
Miller,
Yes.
Walke.
Yes.
no guess. Committee reports.
I didn't write up, the streets and, storm sewers, I didn't write up a report, but, I'll let Aaron take it, but,
I wrote one up in the stuff for you.
well, you did?
Yes.
Oh, boy, see, you got my back.
So I hope it's in your bag, because I didn't do it just because of
Yeah.
that.
the only thing I would have, just for clarification for future, if anybody reads in the future, is on the mailbox request. We talked about, possibly amending the current mailbox ordinance to include 1 square from all 4 corners, north, south, east, and west of the central, I don't know, Sarah, how you word it. I just put east to Earl, west to Church, north to Perry, and south to Ohio. So that it was that full square, what we would call the central commercial district, in terms of correcting that. But
You said east of, I'm sorry.
east to Earl Street, from the square, from the center square, would go east to Earl, west to Church, north to Perry, and south to Ohio. So it would be,
All right, thank you. And that's considered the square?
well, it's the square, I don't know what you would consider a square. What we were trying to look at was the main drag roads, in the current ordinance, the main drag roads, Westminster Street, both north and south, and east and west on Wapakoneta Street. In that first, each one of those squares, those people are not supposed to have mailboxes in front of their property on those main roads because they're considered thoroughfares. So we wanted to amend that ordinance so they would be allowed to put them on the alleys behind their property, is my understanding. Is that your understanding here?
Yes, yep. The only question I had to that, and I think both of these were done before I was here, I know there's at least 2 mailboxes are currently in that square on the road.
Yeah, when we weren't sure at the meeting what we had.
Yeah. Are we just going to basically grandfather them through? Because if somebody comes back and says, well, hey, there's 2 there, what, you know.
Good point.
There's something to think about. We'll have that language there at the next meeting, but something for council to think about how they want to do that, if they want to I know at least the one has now a close, and then the other one will be on the other side of the property. But if council wants to grandfather those two, because they're already there, or if they want them to move them to an alley, would be the only question for council to think about until next week, or, sorry, next month.
I guess the question would be, when were they placed? We can't, as council, we wouldn't be able to determine when, if they were placed prior to the existing ordinance or after, I mean. So
Nathan, do you know what the date of the existing ordinance was, the 17?
I don't know the date, but I do know that one of the mailboxes was placed after the ordinance was put in, but the postmaster at the time didn't care.
Give the form?
Yeah, and because it was by another existing, well, we didn't have a form at the time, but it was next to a mailbox that was already there, and so since it was right next to the mailbox that was already there, she didn't have a problem with it.
Google Earth / Google Street View, you can go back years and look if you want to know those things.
Yeah, I don't know why the original ordinance was put in place, what the thinking was, because none of us, maybe Bob, but I don't know how, maybe not even Bob, because I don't know how old the existing ordinance was. Do you know why they wanted it that way, Bob?
I just remember who it was that wanted this, as far as that goes. That's basically all I remember about it. I don't know, it's maybe the same person. Again, I don't know.
Because we kind of speculated in our meeting what the rationale was, but we don't know what the rationale was of why that original ordinance was put into place.
Yeah.
Parking and deliveries and, because that does tend to be more of a business. There's residents there, but it tends to be more business than residents. So I don't know, I don't know what council's thoughts are.
Like, on my way home there, I texted everybody from the committee meeting, and I noticed the one that was already there, which is right across the street from the gentleman that's requesting. If you're gonna grandfather that in, could that not be placed next to?
On the same.
It would be across the street, then we would have to walk the street, we'd have to walk.
But I have neighbors that do the same thing.
I know.
Yeah,
Although they don't
every,
cross the
every
street.
roads.
That's just something to think about too, more food for thought, but it's already there, could be one.
So,
And again, so you got a couple different avenues there. You can either grandfather the ones that are there and we're good there. You can rescind the ordinance for whatever reasons you would want to, or you could go to what currently was being talked about is putting in the only ones that would be allowed in the alleys would be within that square footprint, if you will. So there's some things there that probably need to touch base prior to next month's meeting so we can have the language.
I don't know, Aaron, if it makes sense, and I don't want to put more on your plate, but maybe to talk to the postmaster, talk to the post office and say, what would be easier for them to, and then, of course, you need to always think about what's going to happen in the future, and I don't know I don't remember in the zoning if we had a central commercial district or not. I can't remember if I'd have to look.
We talked about that at committee, and I didn't have time to look.
And I didn't
into
look
it.
either, so we can do that by next month's meeting.
I think, if the post office was smart, they would say no, and they would get post office boxes because they make revenue off of that, but.
It may be a moot point because they have dedicated routes and it may disrupt their current route. I don't know. Again, I know they do travel down some alleys through town when they're delivering mail, but if it completely messes up how their routes work, then that might be a problem too.
They're gonna pay those people to do that.
Right.
So I think there's obviously three different directions a person can look at that on which way you wanna go. We can do a little bit digging on our end as far as, maybe what whys and wheres and talk to the postmaster.
You don't want to pass an ordinance that's going to create an issue. The people are going to want to have it, and then the post office will say, no, we can't do that, then it makes, we're just kind of pushing the problem off to somebody else.
And on the form that we currently have, it says, you can request this, we can sign off on it as the village, but it's still up to the postmaster to decide if they want to deliver there. If we do keep that all the same with a little bit of change, it's still up to post office if they want to deliver there or not.
Right, we're just passing the problem on to the post office. All right, I'm done. Thank you.
Any other committee reports?
Finance committee, Bob?
Tom, finance minutes?
Yeah, I think Sarah might have done this one too, I don't think I took notes, but, yeah, the finance committee met there, you can see, President Fox Hudson, Administrator Bender, and, Fiscal Officer Montgomery. And you'll see, he talked about, finance meeting, received electric meters and installations last week, and then, invoices no longer needed for the, $97,000 appropriation has been reduced by $15,000, which is always a good thing. And then you'll, see there also mentioned about the audit and, drafting the payroll ordinance, and, Administrator Bender went over that with the finance committee, bringing it to the next meeting, which is tonight. And, a few of the points are not yet discussed, and I believe that will be taken care of this evening, but, and then we also spoke about Courtney and Associates, appropriate $15,000 for the review and invoice of $5,000. And, motion to adjourn. I think if there's any questions, Aaron and Sarah can probably fill you in better. It's always good to see the bill less than what we.
Absolutely.
Okay, any other reports? All right, police report.
Council has my report, and I also wanted to report 3 additional items. 107/109 Maple Street was sent an enforcement letter for debris cleanup from a fire that occurred at 109 Maple Street between 30 and 60 days ago. Under our current rules and regulations, laws, the property has 30 days after the fire. It went a little bit longer because there was an investigation going on, but we're past that time period. I've spoken with the property owner, told him the letter was coming, so he's aware. He should get that taken care of soon. Also, 115 West Walkenetta Street was sent a thank you letter for cleaning up their issues. They had a chimney and some other debris that needed taken care of, and they took care of that. So, so it generated a thank you letter thanking them for that. Secondly, Solicitor Bay is reviewing the current zoning and how the PMC, Property Maintenance Committee, fits into zoning enforcement. It is likely that we will need to have a combined zoning board and PMC meeting sometime in January. Lastly, I'm just reporting to council that I will not be here at the December council meeting due to a previously scheduled training. And that is all I have.
Nathan will get together to try to schedule that.
Yeah, perfect. Yep.
Anything further? Nathan?
Nathan, I know you talked about the safety committee, is there any time frame that you want that committee?
I mean, based on recent guidance with the audit, I think probably January sometime. I think between now and the holidays coming up, it's going to be a little bit busy, but probably in January we need to get together. I did speak with our IT person today regarding the off-site storage of our electronic records. That's something that he had a couple different options, one more economical, one more expensive. So I can report that at the safety committee meeting. And then we just need to go over the safety plan that we'll present to you guys. So I don't think we're going to have any super big disasters between now and January. So the hope is not, but you never know. An ice storm. That's right. That's right. No tornadoes, but we always have that risk of ice storms and snow and that type of stuff. But the emergency manual. We can handle an ice storm. We don't want to, but we can handle that without the disaster manual. And quite honestly, the county has a disaster manual that we can fall back on if we need to utilize that. So we do have a little bit of time.
You want to wait till January for that safety meeting?
The safety, yeah. If we could do the safety committee meeting in January, I think that will be easier with everyone's schedules with the holidays.
Nathan, has there been any, I know you and I had discussed it previously, discussion about taking some of our electronics that are housed back in the middle of the building and moving them into the vault? Has there been any discussion or any investigation?
There has been some discussion on that. The challenge with that is getting into the vault. Getting, it's almost impossible to drill through those walls to get in, and you have to run, power and
Yeah, I don't know.
wiring
Oh,
and things
that's
like
fine.
that.
I just
So,
was curious, because we talked about it.
Yeah, there is another option. In order to be compliant with the audit, we have the potential of utilizing, another building through the use of Wi-Fi, and without getting too techie, there's an option that we can store off-site for, it would cost about $1,000 to make that happen. Or we could look at backing everything up to the cloud, which is gonna be significantly more because you have monthly costs and things like that. But there's a couple different options that our IT guy said that, certainly we could do. It's just comes at what price we wanna look at spending, so.
Thank you.
Yep.
Okay, village administrator report.
I'll just do a little bit of highlighting on what report you guys already have in front of you. Electric meters, we received those, and we put 400, all the fellows, maintenance crew, put all of the single-phase meters in except for a couple that were different. So about 450 meters were put in. The ones that we're waiting on are the couple oddities on the single-phase and all the three-phase. Waiting to hear back potentially a time frame of when those three-phase may be in. But I do want to say thanks to the fellows. They just knocked it out of the park getting those meters in and out. I don't think Bean took any phone calls. We had it out on posting places, and the fellows were real good about knocking on doors and letting people know if they were home that, just be a little bit of glitch, and away they went on it. So that was good. But it's nice. We actually did a full read Friday with it, with water and electric meters. A couple little hiccups. I'm glad we did that because we read today and tomorrow. Reread today, and everything went off as it should. Beans just got a lot of things to go through because of all the meters that were exchanged and put new ones in. So, as far as the water and sewer on that side of things, we do have all the water meters in. We have a contractor doing about 11 of them that we just couldn't get to or get a time frame with folks. So, other than all of the three-phase meters and a couple single-phase meters, we are full radio read drive-by on the water and sewer side of things. We don't electric. As far as the park, you've been out there and noticed we do have the pads set for concrete. It's just a matter of getting the contractor in and working with the weather.
It's contracted to be over.
It is, yes, me too fast, Tim.
Which contractor?
Kyle Kramer is who we went with. We did talk about if it gets too cold, the hope was to get everything kind of fast tracked, but everybody's so busy nowadays, and the price that he come in at, keep that price. But he does have blankets if he decides to get a good window that he can cover that. So I feel confident there. I will probably go ahead and get the cornhole boards themselves and the bags ordered. That way we have them, so when the concrete's done, we get good weather throughout the winter, we can go ahead and set them, and then that'd be a kickoff for something to be done in the spring. We did get one quote in for the home run fence, right in the range that we were thinking about. I've talked to Brian Shaw, and we had talked and probably get at least one more quote just to make sure that we're not out in left field with the price. So that's kind of where we stand with the park. As we get closer into winter, sounds like it could be here next week. We'll start working on getting with playground folks and get at least a couple of folks in to look at what we have, give us some ideas, and sit down with the park committee and say, here's a couple options, which direction we want to go. That way, hopefully, at springtime we got our ducks in a row, and we can just keep on moving forward with things with the park.
On the power poles, Aaron, did we donate a lot to Logan County when they had their?
So we did not. They ended up having 2 or 3 other municipalities that had a lot of poles.
Okay.
What we did do help with Lakeview in particular, was a lot of parts and wire. And the only thing we're waiting on to get back from them is a spool of wire, which we don't very often use. We have a partial spool. This was a brand new one. And they said if we'd ever run into a situation where we needed something, come down and get that, but they're just waiting on it to come back in.
Okay.
Yeah, we offered a lot of things to them, and it's amazing when a catastrophe like that happens, how many hands are out to help everybody. So it was definitely out there for them if they needed it, and just we didn't need to. We have replaced about 10 to 12 poles this year So most of those were maintenance issues. There was 2 or 3 that were crashes. So, you don't think about it, you got a pile of poles back there and you start 1 or 2 here and there, and then you start doing some inventory, it's like, oh, we probably better get some ordered, because if a windstorm or something would happen, you wanna be prepared for that.
How many poles are on a semi?
It depends on the length. The longer they are, the more they weigh. It's based off the weight. I think we're getting 3, 5, about 37 this next load. Yeah. And then just last, I'll just hit on the storm streets. We met with the committee, and Craig Mesher with Access Engineering was here to kind of help explain the funding but the way the funding works for these types of projects, and kind of what we're up against on East Walport project. One of the things that we did not get funding for, I think I talked about this before, was the CDBG funding. We did not get approved for that. We're going to go and apply for that again. There is a 5-year window there that you have to have financial surveys done throughout the community, and we are going to be outside of that 5 years, so we have to have new surveys. It'll be more in-depth than what the survey we did last year. That was for the neighborhood. That was for critical. This is for neighborhood. With that being said, we'll have something in front of council next month. Craig's going to send over, and we'll just need to pass as a motion, and then those will go out with utility bills and a little bit of explanation of kind of why we need to do this and what this is doing for the village. And as far as East Walpole Street, it looks like it should bid this winter and then start weather depending in the spring.
Can I interject here if you don't mind? Craig did, when we talked, and those of you that are at the meeting, correct me if I'm wrong, we did talk about the possibility with those surveys so that we reach the percentage and we get all of the folks that we need to get, that council may have to go door to door and talk to people with those surveys and give explanations and try to get what we need. Because in order to complete the storm sewer part of this project, we're going to need those CDBG grants. And the only way we're going to get them is if we can capture an accurate picture of the income and financial situations of our village residents. So, just to let folks know that may be something we're going to be called to do.
Yep.
Okay. Mayor's report, there was 1,765 is deposited in the general fund for the mayor's court account for the month of October. All right, on to old business. Board of Tax Review, council still needs to pick one more person. Have you guys got any idea who yet, or? Okay. Then we got ordinance 24-9-1, an ordinance establishing a blanket purchase order amount limit as required by Ohio Revised Code 55705-41, and get a first motion on the second reading.
So moved.
All right, can I get a second?
Second.
Boss,
Yeah.
Hudson,
Yes.
Nichols,
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.
Wolfie.
Yes.
Then ordinance 24-10-1, 2025 permanent appropriation ordinance. Can I get a motion for the second reading on that?
Point of order, Mayor, do we need to do the amendment before we vote on the appropriations?
The amendment for,
Aren't we amending appropriations?
we are due, because we have not passed that yet. This has not been passed. We are not amending it, so we are able to change it. When we get to the third reading, that is when it is considered passed. The
Okay,
other-
I'm sorry,
No, you're
I
fine.
misread this, I apologize.
Nope, you're good.
2310, so
Yeah,
this
that's-
is, we're amending the old
Yes.
appropriations, okay. I apologize.
No, good.
I'll make a motion that we adopt, 2025 permanent appropriations ordinance 24-10-1 for its second reading.
Second.
So moved.
Boss,
Yes.
Ball, oh, sorry, Hudson,
Yes.
Nichols,
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.
Walton.
Yes.
Okay, now for the ordinance 24-10-3, an ordinance establishing electric rates increase for the village of Waynesfield. Can I get a motion for the second reading, please?
I don't think we have a copy of that one. I actually had it from last month.
Yes, the last one. I'll make a motion to adopt ordinance 24-10-3.
Okay, get a
Do
second.
second reading, electric rates.
Can I get a second, please?
Yes.
Ball,
Yes.
Hudson,
Yes.
Nichols,
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.
Walton.
Yes.
Okay, is there any other old business? All right, let's move to new business. Forget ordinance 24-11-2, an ordinance to amend appropriations ordinance.
Wait a minute, Mayor. No, we have to do that. Ordinance 24-11-2.
Is that under old business? That's
That's
new
under-
business.
We get a new,
It's new
you get
business.
one in.
Uh,
Sorry about that. We're gonna do that now.
It's amending the,
This is the unemployed
This
raises.
is here.
That's,
Right.
that's,
yeah, this is.
that's old business. I don't know.
Sarah, is that supposed to be new or old business,
Well, I'm sorry.
amending this appropriations?
Well, the one that we're doing today,
Mhm.
for the personal services, for lands and buildings,
Mm-hmm.
that would be under new because I just did it.
You mean 24-11-2, new business?
Highlighted green.
I, sorry, since the underneath me, that is my fault, I apologize. I'm throwing it together at the end of the day when I realized it, sorry about that, so it is new,
Oops, okay.
I apologize.
Highlighted green. We're gonna do the first part of the business.
All right. An ordinance to amend appropriation ordinance 23-10-6 and to declare an emergency.
Wait a minute. I don't even see that, Mayor. I'm like Bob, I don't see where you're at.
Highlighted green.
That's 24-11-2. He said 23 something.
That's to amend
That's under-
23-10-.
She just said it's under new business.
It is. She just like,
Yeah.
I apologize.
So you wanna do that before you go into executive session, discuss employee raises?
Yeah,
All right, so
that's
this is-
okay, we're just amending it so I
I'm
can
just,
finish on my personal.
Bob and I are just trying to figure out where he's at.
Sorry.
That's all. I'm just
Well-
trying to figure out where he's at.
She got 2402 here to 23-10-6.
It should be 23-11-2, shouldn't it?
That's
Or no,
true.
it's 24.
Should be the first part of the business.
Okay, so this.
So the ordinance is,
Yeah.
the ordinance is typed wrong. It says 23-10-6.
Well, it was,
Well,
it
that's
was
why
approved
we're
last
amending
year.
it. We're amending last year's
All right.
She has
appropriation.
to move money for this year.
Too many different years. I'm confused.
I'll make a motion to adopt ordinance to amend appropriations ordinance 23-10-6 and declare an emergency.
We'll get a second, please.
Second. Burn.
Okay, we have to declare an emergency first, right?
Yeah.
Right.
I
We're
did that,
declaring
yeah.
an emergency
Yeah.
first. That's what Bob's doing.
Bob,
Yes.
Hudson,
Yes.
Nichols,
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.
Walton.
Yes.
Can we get an motion?
I'll make a motion to adopt ordinance to amend appropriations ordinance 23-10-6.
Bob,
Yes.
Hudson,
Yes.
Nichols,
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.
Walton.
Yes.
All right. All right. Do we need a motion to conduct executive session?
I'll make a motion to go into executive session to discuss employment, and compensation of public employees.
In a second?
Yes.
Who do you want in meeting?
I guess council,
That's it. right?
just council and mayor, I guess, right now, yeah.
Do we need to vote on it?
Yeah, we gotta vote first. Gotta vote to go into it first. You gotta,
Okay, Fox,
I think we ought to give,
I think council, we can't,
I think we ought to give $50 a meeting. You guys.
you know what I found out? I found out I've been buying a Acrobat reader for some of my zoning things to do. They got like, I've been paying $500 last year.
Thanks, Nate.
I didn't even make that much here.
I know.
All right.
I make a motion to come out of executive session.
Second.
Sarah, you ready? I'm sorry.
No, you're fine.
Vern seconded, I think.
Yes.
Fox,
Yes.
Hudson,
Yes.
Nichols,
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.
Walke.
Yes.
Okay.
So I'll make a motion that we adopt ordinance 24-11-1, an ordinance setting wages and salaries for employees. For records purposes, Sarah, biweekly salary for the police chief, annual salary, not biweekly. You'll have to figure out, yeah, it's annual.
You do.
Nathan's over there doing
I'm like,
backflips, yeah, wow.
He's a little flopper. We do not have that much money in the village.
Annual salary for Nathan would be $67,288.50, which is an approximate 3% raise.
Say that again.
It's 228.
288.
228, I'm sorry. 67,228.50. The hourly wage for our part-time patrolman would be $16.50. And then our hourly wage for our part-time maintenance, as stated, would be $19.05. Our hourly wage for Jay Carter, our full-time maintenance, would be $17.25. The hourly wage for Mr. Hendrickson, maintenance, shall be $25.36.
Check that again.
Yeah.
26.26, sorry, thank you.
25, 26.
It's 26.
Yeah, 26.
It says 25, but it's got 26, so which one is it?
Oh, it does, in the wording.
In the wording, it
Yeah.
says 25, in the,
It should be the one that's the number.
26,
26,
26?
Yes,
Okay.
yes,
Okay, it's 26.
sorry.
The biweekly salary for being quartercracks are, I said that wrong. Utility clerk should be $1,524.40.
80.
80 cents. Get my bipoles right. The biweekly salary for fiscal officer Sarah Montgomery shall be $48,204, which is reflective of a 3% raise. The biweekly salary for Aaron Bender, administrator, shall be $77,000. And I believe that covers all of our employees, the rest of it. So I make a motion, we adopt that ordinance.
Did we suspend the rules already?
That emergency, Lisa.
Have to declare emergency, it's been the rule of 3 readings. So I make a motion to do that first.
I'll second.
We can't get 3 readings in if it's going to affect January.
No, we can't.
This has to be an emergency.
That's why we're.
That's what we're doing, suspend the rule of 3 readings. That's what this first part is about, we restated it, sorry. A little confused this month.
Fox,
Yes.
Who seconded?
I
Hudson,
didn't.
Yes.
Nichols,
Yes,
Miller,
Yes.
Walke.
Yes.
so I make a motion, we adopt ordinance 24-11-1 as previously outlined.
Second.
Fox,
Yes.
Hudson,
Yes.
Nichols,
Yes,
Miller,
Yes.
Walke.
Excuse me, what number do you have for Bina?
Bina
1524.80
as
bi-weekly.
bi-weekly.
Regular.
Okay.
Mhm. What's already typed on the paper
Yep,
that's in?
yep, that's good. Yes.
All right. Any other new business? Can I have a motion to adjourn? So moved. Second. So seconded.
Fox,
Yes.
Hudson,
Yes.
Nichols,
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.
Walke.
Yes.